Erev Hanukkah and a Freilichen Hanukkah. Someone asked me actually last night 2 interesting shaylos. One is very lemaisa, and another. Someone texted me actually before Shabbos, told me it ruined his whole week. Wow, something from the news. So before we'll get to the Yevonim, we'll get to Mitzrayim. This week's Parsha. Yeah. So basically, he sends me. I can't open it up on my phone, but I can open it up in the computer. So here's the thing that he sends me. Horrible. Father tries to save his 6-year-old son from being chemically castrated after mother decides has a transgender girl. Rabbi, this is a terrible story. One that shows the harm of transgender. Okay. Anyway, this fellow said he had a terrible week. He was... Yeah. There's a story going on like this. There's a story going on. The story was apparently was all over the news this week. So, yeah, Zara Khazan. Good morning. So the story is like this: the woman got divorced from her husband, and she decided when the child was 4 years ago, that the child is not Johnny anymore. She is Luna. And she went to... the child is now 6 years old. Yeah, and she dresses the child as a girl. The picture of the child, what a cute little boy. I don't know how you can imagine this kid as a girl, but a cute little boy. And she dressed, and now she wants to give him chemical therapy, and which would castrate him, and make this transition. Now, apparently the court is siding with the mother to the extent that the father is prohibited from telling his son that he's a boy. And no, I think it's in Texas. I can't believe it. Yeah. Look up the story. Look when we finish the year.
I think this is child abuse.
Yeah, it's child abuse because he tells the boy that he's, and he claims it's not true. He's offering him clothing from a boy and girl, and he claims that whenever he's with him, the kid emphatically wants to dress with pants and not with a skirt. But yeah, exactly. So this is anyway. The bottom line is, the funny thing is, where does the woman have so much money to go to court? I mean, this is a court battle. This is very expensive.
Or some kind of sick organization.
Right, actually. It's a
the government pays for it.
I don't know.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
If you can't afford your own lawyer, the government pays.
No.
Mr. Soros is people.
Legal aid does not cover it. Legal aid does not cover it.
Zara? Okay. So,
It depends if she's sued, then she can get the legal aid.
Surprised the state's not prosecuting her for child abuse.
give it to the parrots. Parrots will figure out it's working. It's not working.
What do you mean, Dirk?
Okay, the Miketz, bottom line. Shaila. The Shaila is we know for a Jewish boy, this is also Gomur, which I had in the Rambam. We actually had it in the Rambam yesterday, which is it's a lav. It's this is plain and simple lav. Also lahafsid evori azer bein ba'odem bein bebehem achayim ba'oif achmeim v'achatoinim bein meretz Yisrael bein b'chutz loretz. Simple. Okay. Shaila is by a goy. Is it also or not also? I thought the answer, like sometimes you think everything is simple, but it's not so simple. So let's look here at the second paragraph. It says, the Gemara Baba Maratziya, Ibayalahu, the Bnei Yeshiva had a question. Could a person say to a guy that he should do chasima to his porah? You have to allow the porah to eat while it's working. He's going to tell the guy, he's not going to be over the issue. He's not going to muzzle the cow. Morgan, he's going to tell the first Shaila. He's going to tell the guy to muzzle the cow. When do we say that it's also to tell a guy on Shabbos to do a malacha for you? Honey, in Shabbos is a skila. Because Shabbos is a skila, so Chazal said, if you're not allowed to do it, you're not allowed to tell a guy to do it. Aval chasima, the Yisrael, but chasima, which is Yisrael, Loy over there, there's no Amir l'nocher. Maybe there's no difference. That's a general shaila in the Gemara. Do we say Amir l'nocher shus for any other isim in the Torah besides Hilchos Shabbos? And most poskim paskin, yes, the middle nochri for all these surim. Toshma, the Shochle Lavud, the Shmuel Halin Turi, the Gambi Armoim and Nakin Yosei, that the Goyim are friends of the Jews. They know the Jews are not allowed to castrate their animals, but it's not good because some of the animals, they're like a Shar Lacharisha. If it's castrated, it works much better. It's not distracted. Yeah, better behavior. So they want to do it. They know the Jewish nation neighbor is not allowed to castrate the animal, so they do a favor to the Yid. They steal at night the animal, they castrate it. Tomorrow morning he finds the malach is done. So what's the din? Shalach lei armoy zavedlu. Irami alayu. These Yidden are telling you a shayla, coming, oh, Rabbi, what should we do? Oy, oy, oy. The guy went and they castrate the cow. So he sent back, Abu Shmuel sent back saying, Baba Maisis, that's a arama. The guy knows that the Jew is very happy. The guy knows the check is in the mail. So is therefore vizdavnun. The Jew has to sell all those cows. He's not allowed to keep those cows. There's a punishment. There's a knas. He has to sell all those cows. Omar Papa said, B'nei Marov v'savli lo kereb chitke. B'nei Marov and Eretz Yisrael, they hold. So, in other words, Shmuel holds that Amir al-Nochri is also b'chol ha-Torah kula, and most boys can pass in that way. And also b'chol ha-Torah kula. For example, the Alter Rebbe says that you're not allowed to tell a goy to be choisem your porah. Taken the shayla. The Alter Rebbe says also it's Amir al-Nochri. However, the Gemara says another pshat. They say that no, the reason why Abu the Shmuel punished them is because of the story of Reb Chitke, because the shit of Reb Chitke. The Omar Reb Chitke says that one of the Sheva Mitzvah Bnei Noach is castration. Because it's also for the goy, not also for the priest. Parsha also for the goy. It's one of the Sheva Mitzvahs according to the Chitke. Now we don't paskin that way. Most poiskim, a machloek is a poiskim. Rambam, most big poiskim don't go with this. They hold that Sidus is not one of the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. But you see in the Gemara there was a machloek Samaroim if Sidus is mutter for a goy or also for a goy. Look in the Shulchan Aruch and Ezra Siman Hey. Also lahafsid every azera beim ba'odem beim behema chaye ba'oif echet tmeim echet toini beim ba'oif tzorov beim b'chutz ma'ar. Neftige shirambam, exactly. V'chol ha-Masaris loike min ha-Torah, v'chol no. A person that's Masaris gets malchus, he was even on the law. Hamashke koi shal ikenim la'odem ha'shor ba'al chaim. If he gives them a chemical, a koi shal ikenim, that the Gemara calls it, chemical treatment. So this is not done b'yadayim. Is a mashke kosher likim la'odem la'shar balachem k'del asor. It says that it's osur vein loikin alav. It's osur, but it's not min ha-Torah, therefore you don't get malchus. V'ishu muteres lish l'sikin k'del asar sh'leitelet. But a woman, Chazal didn't make an isur on her because the pili v'rib is not on her, so she's allowed to drink a kosher likim. Alei.
Even permanent?
Yeah, even permanent. Even permanent. Alei shukafetz odem b'shotza boi kelo. If he gets a dog to bite off someone's avorim, or shor chayis, or any other animal, or it wasn't so gruesome, but he put him in cold water or in the snow until the Evrei Tashmish are not functioning any longer. There's no malchus. However, also, by the way, this is the Rambam. The Rambam says exactly the same words, quoting the words of the Rambam. Also, women legoy l'saris behem shalom v'imlok chum me'atzma v'seis amuter v'imherim yisrael b'dav can't say nice. If the Yid makes a trick, he gets a knas. I feel a lawyer him, but even if I didn't make a trick, but the guy wants for my tova, punish the Yid or marshal Yisrael achri is to sell to another Yid. I feel a b'nai gadol muter, he could sell it to his son who's a gadol. Aval of b'nai cotton ain't a moichel of noise. They can't give it to b'nai cotton because that's a joke. Agoa, which is the important thing for right now. Muter losses behema legoy lemachtzis char aval fishagoy bevadai yisarsenu. You're allowed to give a goy a deal to buy a behema, and you give it to him lemachtzis char. He raises it, and then you split it to the profit, even though the guy is going to do sidus. But he's doing his own business. So it's not none of your business what the guy is doing in his thing. Umuter limker legoy. Behemoths v'tan the girl mafal kav the bavada evit chum koiner the l'satz. Even though you know the guy is going to castrate them, because the guy is doing it for himself. V'yesh oisrim. So all the noisy klitsch Yochanan said the Grad, Chalkas Machoikik, Shmuel. Now what's the machloikis here? Machloikis is if we pass like Reb Chitke, we don't pass like Reb Chitke. If we pass like Reb Chitke, that a guy is also to be Mesadas, that he's not allowed to castrate. So how could you sell him if you know how could you sell it? He's planning to do an Aveda now. Are you allowed to give him a gun when you know he's planning to kill someone? It's the same thing. You're not allowed. It's also to sell them guns. So it's the same thing. It's also to sell them the animal when if you know they're going to castrate them. But if you hold not like Reb Chitke, you hold it. Go is not mitzvah. So therefore, why you sell it to him? It's his business. Well, what's your business? What he's doing? He's not doing an issa for him. It's mutter. Very simple. That's the machloikis. Lamaisa, what's the din? The Chelkas Machoikik says flat out, it's mutter for goyisirus. He says we see all the Rishonim paskin that there's a middle and nochri.
It's mutter for a goy?
Mutter. Chalkas Machoikik says mutter. Why? He says you could look in all the Rishonim, look Takad Al Tereba Paskins Lagabe Chasima, that a middle nochri shvus for all Isurim. You're not allowed to tell a goy to do for you anything which is also for you. Not only Shabbos, anything. So in other words, they hold that's the reason Avu the Shmuel said it's also to be chaysim Torah. So therefore, the halacha is not like Reb Chitke. The reason why Shmuel punished these people for letting the goy castrate their animals is because Amir al-Anochi Shmus. But really the halacha is not like Reb Chitke. The Rambam says befurish so, and you can see it in yesterday's Rambam, it's merumas in the words. The Rambam says, Lo ye'osa zois bi Yisrael. Yidden are not allowed to do it. And if you look in the Sheva Mitzvahs, the Rambam never mentions a word about Tzirus. That's the way the Chelkes Machoikik Patzkin. However, and like I said, it's anointed, Alter Rebbe holds that way, but Alter Rebbe, in the end of Choshe Mishpat, says that it's a middle anoch, you're not allowed to tell a goy to muzzle your animal. In other words, he paskins that that's the reason Avu the Shmuel punished them. Because they were over and telling a goy something that it's also for them to do. But in other words, the halacha is not like a Chitkas, a goy is allowed to be Messiahs. However, the Beis Shmuel says, you should be machmer because there's some big Rishonim that say it's. So you have to be machmer. So the shaila is, if the court in Texas will now call us and ask us, Mashiach is going to come, there's a vada gomur, the goyim are going to ask us what are the halachas. How do you think they're going to determine? The seventh one of the Sheva Mitzvahs is dinim. They have to have court. They have to paskin. And in the Sheva Mitzvahs, they have to paskin. They have to paskin, right? So how are they going to know the halachas? They're going to ask the Yidden the halachas. So if they ask us, if there's a Chalkas Machoikik, Chalkas Machoikik says, no problem. You want to chemically castrate the child? Heter Gomu. If you ask the Beis Shmuel, they say, no, you have to be machmer for the Ravid. Now, Lamaisa, and I would there's a little thing here that if it's a chemical, if it's doing a chemical castration, so there's an interesting minchas chinuch. It says that where do we know that the Gemara of Chitke says how do we know that a goy is also mesirus? Because it says pa'atam pluravu. They have no mitzvah to multiply, but they're not allowed to cut the evrei azera because then you can't multiply. The Eibishter wants the world to grow. The Eibishter is not concerned about that the people will outpace the food in the world. The Eibishter said that the people shall multiply, and therefore it's also, according to the Chitke, it's over on Allah. So he says, Minchas Chinuch, an interesting svara, that it said by a yid, it's also only if you cut it with your hands, because it says ba'artzachem loy sasu miyadayim. But if you give a koish shal ikrim, the person drinks a chemical, it's mutter. Then a bonum it's also. But by a goy, maybe a goy is also to be mashka koish shal ikrim. And then he says that most of the Shonim hold that there's no. That's hard. That this is the Gemara says a svara. Miki midi is there something that it's mutter for a yid and also for a goy. It's kosher for us to drink, and for a goy it's treif. So yeah, for sure. So how could you say? Oh, there is. So it's complicated, but he says he's masupik. So therefore, vada castration biyad for a goy is also castration if it's done chemical castrate is l'choyre is derabonon, and so it's a shaila probably for a goy it's mutter. You're going to tell me after this little Johnny is going to go through the chemical treatment, he's going to go through also another treatment, which is going to remove the Evrei Azera. Okay, but that's Sirus Acher Sirus. Again, that could be only by Yidden. The Yidden is a special limud that there's Sirus Acher Sirus. That it could be double Sirus. One person cuts, but the other person that cuts, both are Oiver. But Lavdafka by a Goy, there is Sirus Acher Sirus. Once the Chitke learns it from the pasuk Pru Ravu. So once this child is chemically castrated, so he can't be Pru Ravu. That's it, impossible. So now, a few years later, when the doctor is going to do a surgery and cut off the Evrei Azera, that's Mesaris Acha Mesaris, it's probably only also for a Yid. So I would say to be Mesaris Biyad is a Machloikis Takir. But to be Mesaris through chemical is probably Mutter. Probably Mutter.
Isn't there a Machloikis, it says a question when they thought they had to prove who.
Right, so Chitke says
There was a chiyuv, no, not a...
Chitke says we learn from here that's also for a goy to do castration, but they explain the Rishonim, it doesn't mean that there's a chiyuv for them to multiply be'emes. It's just that they're not allowed to do sirus.
By the way, the Rambam says V'atzachah means also chutz la'aretz too.
Very good. Yeah.
Jewish doctor allowed to do.
Oh, was a Jewish doctor allowed to do? So that a beautiful long article in Ishmas Avram. And he brings it as a machloek. The bottom line, he asked the Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. He says also the Aruch HaShulchan says flat also, unless it's a sakon, right? Unless it's a sakon, but stamazoy, not. It's also for a Jew to perform the surgery.
What's the marker again for this?
For the Yid is Miketz loitasu, which is a pasuk in Parshas Emor, and for the Goy, if the halacha is like Reb Chitke, it's from the pasuk Pru Revu.
What about also the pasuk?
L'shem Sitzora.
Yeah.
So
What about the C
It's
word?
another. Maybe it's over on the is and I say
What happened to the
I
C
guess
word?
I don't
because
know.
we know that it's the extra one, the whole world.
The extra one, right.
Lahav the Yidden.
Right. So it's interesting. Look, but that's the Gemara doesn't. The only reason the Gemara brings is from this pasuk, and this is only the Pchitke, and the other Rishonim paskin not like a Pchitke. Most Rishonim paskin not like a Pchitke. They
There's no
paskin
mitzvah for a guy to prove.
right, zero, and the guy is mutter to be Mesaris.
But when other Rishon had a mitzvah, the first mitzvah was Puru, right?
Yeah.
Didn't all his mitzvahs either become the Raisa for Yidden and the Rabbanim for Goyim from the part of the Shavah mitzvahs? Isn't it one of the Shavah mitzvahs they know how to do Puru?
So again, the Pchitke learns it as.
How could he hold something that was given to others who had a din of Ben Noach? He wasn't a Yid.
Right.
How can he hold that all of a sudden it was no longer applicable? Lo Shirtzach was. Kabbalah Zavicha was. How could
Look, it's a good shaila. It's a ganze sugya. The daf nun vav, nun zayin, nun ches, nun tes, and sanhedrin. It's a good shaila. But the bottom line is that Pchitke holds that Sidus is also, the other Amoraim hold that Sidus for a guy is mutter, gamur, and most Rishonim hold that the halacha is not like Reb Chitke. Only the Ravid holds that the halacha is like Reb Chitke, it's also for a guy to do Sidus.
So we learned about the tree, right?
Yeah.
Growing pears trees. Is there any shaykhs to that? No, it's different.
No, that's Baltashchis.
So why?
You could say here also about
Yeah. Why?
You could say here also
Why
about
isn't that? Because he has the ability to have more children. The Abishah wants the world to be settled. So how did it?
You could say Baltashchis. Now I'm not going to talk about Baltashchis here. Why? Because I'm talking about a child. I think it's also Gama for a different reason.
What about mutilation? Is there a separate?
Oh, this is what I think is also why it's also. I think in this case, if it was an adult guy, then the whole discussion would be valid. But if we're talking about a child, let's learn what the Alter Rebbe Paschal in Hilchah Niskei, the last paragraph.
Like a tree that didn't have fruit yet. It's like a fruit tree, just not yet. You can't cut down a fruit tree
That's Baltashchis. The Alter Rebbe says more than this. Also lahakis. It's also to hit as chavera. People know it's not reshus. The ein lo adam reshus al gufi klal. This is very important words. Last paragraph. It's also a person to give klep to someone else, but a person can't even give reshus to someone else. Say you're allowed to hit me.
They hit him.
No, it's also. Ki ein lo adam reshus al gufi klal. A person has no reshus on his own guf. La koise, but la vaisha, but la tzara, b'shum tzara. V'chem mutter lahakis born from time afilu b'shloi b'shvil chinuch toira mitzvahs el kedei la yerdrichem de'acheretz oil b'skam l'tevasa. If you want for the good of a child, you're allowed to hit the child. Now, in this case, the mother is cutting off the Eivori Azera from the child. How is that the toiv of the child?
Why is she
Halacha
doing it?
toilet.
Explain to you why she's doing it. What's the problem?
Because she says she went to a doctor,
That he's
a specialist,
transgender,
a trans specialist, and the specialist says that he's transgender.
So he's a girl.
The Bem is a girl, Neshama. Then
So
the
that's- so
the
he's a
specialist
girl.
is
Maybe he
bugging.
has
Huh?
She went to a
If he's a
crazy
girl,
doctor,
nothing's
that's
gonna
what she's doing.
happen.
Now the father says that he went to a specialist, and the specialist says that the boy is a boy.
What's she afraid of? That if he has the Kalim to do it, so only that will tell. Now she's taken out of his Kalim.
Right.
She'll never know. She'll never
They'll
know.
never know. But that she wants his intent in
The
doing it.
specialist was probably like one of these people with a
The amazing
crystal
thing is
ball
that
or
how could
something.
the
I mean,
courts,
what kind of
the courts, and not only that,
He's a
this
nice
is from the
Sharia.
audience this week, yeah. So
It's probably-
this week, I don't know.
David
I can't
I
open up the whole
Rabbi
story.
Rosen,
Someone
it's
I
texted
saw
me.
another
Rabbi
thing
Rosen,
like
it's
that,
probably the
too.
same judge who said to knock down the Chabad, probably the same mentality.
But not only that. In the article, one of the articles he said that the court is obligating the father to pay for some of the medical treatments.
Oh, Dr. Zecher.
Yeah.
On the plates?
Saratzachta v'gam yerashta. I mean, this is like it's doing. So this guy.
He knows what he knows that he's going to have another kid, more kids like him.
No, they're well. The mother doesn't want to have grandchildren like her husband.
Right.
The mom won't admit that. He says everything he's a
They're
bull.
both blaming the other side.
It's the person that sent me this. Taka said, to me, he's a pella. Who cares what goes on the news? But he's like a very serious person, and he says that this made him sick to the stomach. Why? He says because we today, everyone understands in the United States that a child, to get pedophilia is a very serious thing, right? He says, but if a child could decide, if a child and his mother could decide what to do in his body at the age of 6, this is a lawyer, so he's very worried about it. I'm not so worried, but he's. So what could happen? Why can't one day a child and his mother decide other things which are today illegal, but for that logic, he's this guy was really disturbed. He was very disturbed.
The
about
question
this.
is, when the baby is baby, when they want to do the operation, the doctor has to say he has hormone of girl or hormone of boy. What's the big deal here? They know how much hormone
There's
there is.
nothing to do with hormones.
No,
It's
it's
a
a
toilet
body
part.
part.
It's body parts. It's nothing to do with hormones.
Oh, you mean the
It's in the sign, you gotta fight it. It's
Yeah.
like everything
Androgenesis,
else.
right? It's called androgenesis.
Androgynous
It's not the
is
way
a
we think.
physical condition. This is a mishigas.
All has to do with everything else.
Huh?
It's like you can give medicine to
Not
give estrogen, give
not a
medicine
real-
to give
There's
testosterone.
pictures of this child in all the articles. He looks like
The
a real
women
boy.
take
Mamish looks like a boy.
testosterone
He looks. You couldn't
to
tell
become a
him.
man.
Anyway,
So
this
why
is
don't you give that to the boy?
right? So it's a midas doing.
Sure.
So health the Eibishter that everything that happening in the world is a shaykh to the Parsha. How's that a shaykh? Turn the page. It says in the Masechah Soite, "Vayikner Yopoiti Farsaris Parnoi Omarav Shekonel Atzmoi." He bought him not as a slave. He really bought him because he wanted him for Mishkav Zocher.
That's why he's a Swiss.
Yeah, Bogavril Basirsoi.
Became one.
Bogavril Upiroi Mikorek Si Poitifar Lubasoi Poitifera. That one Malach came and cut off a chelik, and the other Malach cut everything off.
That's why he was responsible beside it.
Rashi says, which is to me a pella. Rashi says, "Shenistaris mi elov lefishachoma des Yosef lemishkav zacher." Fragt sich a Shaila, why did Rashi change from the Gemara? The only market is the Gemara. The Gemara says that when Gabriel saw that Yosef is never being bought by this cruel Egyptian who wants to use him for mishkav zacher, so he went and caught off the guys Evri Azera. Rashi says that no, it happened on its own, which is like a pella. How does it happen on its own? From the status mail.
They don't want to be Machshut Avil. They want to make it do a Nisabir dance.
Yes.
Oh, you see, you're getting there. You got there before I got there.
He's from.
But
How did he get married later?
so all the Mefarshim talk about this. So how do you have children? So some Mefarshim say, what do you mean children? He had no children.
What is Potiphar's wife gonna get
Rashi
at us?
Afraim.
Who cares what about his children?
No. So some people say
He had children.
he had Osna. Oh, so you could say Osna before, and then there's an interesting
Some
message.
say that's his false daughter.
What to say? That they bring there's a medrash that the Dinah had a child, and the brothers wanted to kill the child. So Yaakov took the child and made a kameh on the child, and sent it into the air. And the child, Osnas, the child went flying to Mitzrayim. And Potiphar raised the child. And from here, what's one of the rayas that if you raise a child, it's considered your child. And then, when all the girls, when he went out to be king, so all the girls wanted to marry him. So each one was throwing at him something.
Flowers and this and that.
And she threw her pendant. She threw her kameya. And he opened the kameya.
She knew he was had a good hands. He caught him. He would catch him in the middle of this parade.
By the way,
I know.
there's proof from the Torah too.
And he opened it up.
There's proof from the Torah from it.
Why deceive her?
Jason had a dream. Who bowed down? The 12 tribes. How come Dina didn't bow down? Because she was going to be a shvigal.
That is shame.
Wait a second. This is not that she's a shviga. This is not his wife.
No, but Dina is his mother-in-law now.
Dina-
His
Dina-
real, his
Dina-
biological
Dina-
mother-in-law
Dina's
is Dina.
Asnas's mother was Dina.
Oh, but some say it was Dina. This Dina was the one he married.
No, Shimon married Dina.
Dina was his brother.
But Dina was his mother-in-law. Osnas is Dina's daughter, according to this medrash.
No. But
Yeah.
the medrash that this is Dina.
No, medrash says
Really?
that Dina had a
Osnas
baby.
bas Dina.
No, Osnas had that Dina had a baby
From
that
Shem? From Shem,
from
right?
Shem, yeah. And the brothers wanted to kill the baby, and Yaakov saved the baby and sent her into Mitzrayim through magic, through Shem
Magic
Kodesh,
carpet.
not magic. Huh?
Magic carpet.
Yeah, the
Right.
first Abu said
And that's a funny Medrash Pliya, but that's what the Medrash says. According to that Medrash,
With the pillars
Dina
that
was
they
a
wanted to
mother.
kill her. The pillars fellas that they wanted to kill her.
By Yosef, they just constantly want to
What
kill
right did
people.
they have to kill her?
That's a good
Because it
shot.
was from Shem. It was an embarrassment. And
It's from the mother.
Don't kill her. You don't kill her. She's a Yiddish lady.
They want to kill the
A Yiddish baby.
They want to kill her.
You can't kill a baby.
The baby.
They want to
It was
kill
an
the
embarrassment.
Osnas.
Randy gefragt. It's an embarrassment. Yandik.
I'm saying she was only a few years older than
Middle East.
Yosef. I don't get it.
Middle East.
Huh?
She was only a few years older than Yosef. When the brothers, when this happened in Shechem, the next Parsha of Yosef of the Shechem.
Right.
This happened like within a year or two.
So B'chal it's a
Maybe
pella.
longer.
So
Maybe he married a young girl.
how?
Phineas, I remember saying it was Otznan itself that he married.
Ah, he was 30, Yosef.
And there's for sure
All
one
the
Medrash-
supposed to marry their sisters.
Right.
So it's not fair that he married his sister.
Half sister.
What?
Half sister.
No, but how could you say that?
Yeah.
But there is a befedish medrash that says that Shimon married her.
Shimon promised to marry her, but then if that's the case, then how does she see by Ashtalagala that her daughter was going to get connected to Yosef? There was no connection astrological.
Oh, that's why it says the kolam gadol Yosef b'tech beiso. It's like his child.
Oh.
It's like his child.
Oh.
It's interesting. All the meforshim, it's a kapella otzam. Why can't we say that there was Potifera was the name of the father? Osnan had a father, Potifera. Why does the Chazal have to say that really she's the daughter of Potiphar? So I found 3 tirutzim. One teretz is, yeah, Mechetesi. Like it's such a funny story, Potifera, she has a father. She was a good Egyptian family. Why? There was only 2 families in Egypt, Pari and Potifar. So one teretz is that it says the Vayitin, Pari gave the girl. Why does he have to give her? Every girl would want to marry. Which Egyptian girl wouldn't want to marry the Mishnah Lamelech? Pari has to Vayitin. It sounds balkorche. Elamai, it sounds like this is a girl whose parents are not masking for the shidduch. Which couple do you think don't want their daughter to marry Yosef?
Deeper.
Huh?
He's going to
She's going to Gezha,
I want to
yeah.
help you guys with Chata and Nimaski.
Yeah.
It could have been Dean, had to have been Osman. That's the one that sent to Mitzrayim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know what I was thinking. Shit.
yeah. The Medrash says it was the daughter of Dinah, it's Osnas.
Very complicated.
So one,
And also was Dina in the womb. Originally, Dina was supposed to be Yosef. It's very interesting.
right.
And Elea davened that she
Right.
should have.
Oh,
It's the same as the change.
Dina became Yosef.
The Yiddish only
It's a
have
very-
So you see that she did bow down to Yosef.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not only that. Unfortunately, say a cute thing. Yosef had the that Yaakov Avinu was hiding right because he was trying to save his mother. Yaakov was trying to hide Dinah. There was something negative about it, and he was punished. But really, there was also a positive to it.
The Rebbe said.
So it ends up that she has a daughter that marries Yosef, and all has to do with hiding it from the eyes. Second shot that the Meforshim say that interesting pshat, like the Sifsei Chum says it. Yeah, the Moshe Moss. He says that Yosef was an Eved, a Paro Vayitein. He forced Mr. and Mrs. Potiphar to give their daughter, because if your daughter, every guy understands, not only Api Halacha, that if you give your daughter to your slave, obviously he's not a slave. Who are you going to marry? You're going to marry
Over yourself, Sar Shlomelech with a
It
slave.
exonerated.
Yeah, there's a Maimon Chazal, Bogra Bitcho Shachre Avdecha.
Wow.
That if your daughter is getting old and you can't find a shidduch, so take one of your avodim and free him and make a shidduch for your daughter. It's a funny Maimon Chazal.
Wow.
So there's a story with the
I
Alter
would think
Rebbe.
take a year to make him your Evan.
That's the regular way.
You have to be with guys.
Yeah, as is a Maimon
And the
Chazal.
gear, the gear.
Bogra Bitcho Shachre Avdecha.
You could be with guy for this
Yeah,
purpose.
yeah. So the zelt developed my unbelievable Maisa with the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. I'm telling the story now because Shabbos, my father was here, and he said that he just met Nachman Tversky, and Rabbi Tversky told him they just published a sefer Shufre der Rabbi Yochanan from Rechem Astrif, and that they have in the book a big section from my Eltazeh, the Motla the Dayan, who was the Dayan of Chernobyl. And I didn't, so I'm going to buy the book. I didn't know this, but apparently the Motla the Dayan was an anicle from the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. So it was I'll tell a story from the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. Yeah. So the Alter Rebbe was traveling, and he came to the city of the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. So you know all the juicy stories in the Baal Shem Tov with the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. Toldus
He's
Yaakov
the
Yosef
source.
was
He's the source of it.
unbelievable.
Some of them.
So the wife, so the Toldus Yaakov Yosef went and greeted the Alter Rebbe with
He's a
unbelievable
writer.
covet.
He was a writer.
He was a Goan Otzum, he was a big misnagid against the Baal Shem Tov. And Baal Shem Tov worked hard until he made him his Talmud.
What was that?
No. The Toldus Yaakov Yosef.
Yeah.
Going back to the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. So Toldus Yaakov Yosef comes out and greets the Alter Rebbe B'Chovet Godel, which was, think about this.
Pele.
The oldest Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov is greeting the youngest Talmud of the Magid B'Chovet Godel.
Before they were Chutan.
They were never Mechutan. Toldus Yaakov Yosef?
And the Alter Rebbe.
Alter Rebbe were Mechutan?
Sure.
Could be.
But Magid said Mashiach is going to come all from my oldest Talmud.
No, but he's not a Talmud of the Magid. He had a Pella. He asked the Magid, how come you became the Rebbe after Hashem, not me?
But he eventually became, didn't he?
No,
Was
he
it
never
son?
became.
Or maybe it was his son.
Could be.
But they were eventually
Could be the Mechutan. But anyway, in this
That's
story,
the result. Mordechai Hornstein is the enemy for both the Alter Rebbe and the Chernobyl.
and Chernobyl, I'm talking about the Toldus Yaakov Yosef, the
Okay.
Toldus Yaakov Yosef.
Sorry.
So the Alter Rebbe, he goes out to greet him. So it was like a Pella. He was a very sharp person. Even after he was a Talmud of Baal Shem Tov, that thing was, he was very, very sharp. He never gave covet to anyone. So when the wife of the Toldus Yaakov Yosef saw that she's giving covet to someone, so she came secretly to the Alter Rebbe and she said, you have a problem. That daughter is getting older. And the Toldus Yaakov Yosef said, he's not Tzilus. But he's not, the daughter
Not
is,
physically.
She told us
she has to get married.
She told us to Alter Rebbe.
The Alter Rebbe wasn't meant on. She can't talk to her husband. She's talking to the wall. So she figured if the Toldus Yaakov Yosef is giving cover to the Alter Rebbe, maybe the Alter Rebbe could talk to him.
Yeah.
He's somewhere in Avodas Hashem. In the meantime, the daughter is getting older. She's not getting married. It was not like today. The mother's going to send a resume and she's going to do some shidduch.
And maybe send it around to every corner of the world.
The father has to deal with it, and he is somewhere else.
Make a deal.
So the Alter Rebbe, so when the next time they were talking and learning, the Alter Rebbe said to Toldus Yaakov Yosef, he said bluntly, "Nu, was hat sein mit deiner Tochter? What's going on with your daughter?" This was like it's like, so the Toldus Yaakov Yosef said,
Why, you have a daughter?
"That's good." He said, "What?" He said, "So what should I do?" In other words, he's not doing avodas Hashem. Okay, get busy with marrying off a daughter. So he said, "What Chazal say, Bogra bitcha shachrer avdecha." That when your daughter gets older, you have to be meshachrer your eved. What is the eved? Eved is avodas Hashem. Tak, you have to a little loosen up your avodas Hashem. And the Alter Rebbe said, go travel around, because everyone that tells Yaakov is a tzaddik gomer. If he's going to travel, people are going to come and give him money. They'll ask him for bracha, they'll give him kvittel, they'll give him money. I'll have money. So the Alter Rebbe said, Bager bitcha, if your daughter gets older, shacher avdecha, you have to let go of your avodas Hashem in order to put yourself into.
So the youngest town of the Maggie told her.
Yeah, and the Toldus Yaakov Yosef said the mice was right away. He put on his boots and he said, "Okay." He said to his wife, "I'm going."
Beautiful.
And
that was
was the results?
That's the end of the story.
If the Alter Rebbe
Come next Sunday.
If you hear from me the rest of the story, you know it's made up.
Trust me, he was so shocked that if it wouldn't have anything, nothing good would have come out of it, he wouldn't have been still stayed friends with the Alter Rebbe.
Exactly.
I guess so.
It's no Shiloh.
You have no stories of him and
I'm sure the Alter Rebbe told him what happened.
If the Alter Rebbe told him and he was
I'm
macabre,
sure
it's
he's
no Shiloh.
I'm sure he's
Exactly.
Wow, that's a story.
So, Avorai, he has Eniklach. No, but he has, maybe he had sons. I don't know.
How old this daughter? They said.
I don't know. They didn't say in the story. But back to the story of Potiphar.
He wants to know what's
Nama
called
21.
old. He wants to know what's called old.
Back to the story of
Nama
Potiphar.
21.
So, I'll peep should. So,
Just have hearing the story of Azar to
Huh?
help you. Just give me the
exactly.
story.
So everyone should know the Satifa thing in Avodas Hashem. Sometimes we think that we're busy with all kinds of very important things, but we have to make sure to put in the time. Bager bitcha shacher avdecha. So back to Rashi. Why does Rashi say different than Gemara? The Gemara says that who cut off the Eved Hazeh of Potiphar is Gabriel, and Rashi says it's Me'elam. The Nachlas Yaakov answers it's not covered to Gabriel that he did such a thing. So Rashi didn't want to tell you the secret who did it. But I'm sorry, it's a very pelendik pshat. So I would say a pshat. The pshat is because in Rashi everything is pshuta shel mikra. In pshuta shel mikra, for some reason, like we said before, there's some reason there's a hechrich that Osnas is Potiphar's daughter. That there's only one man in the whole Mitzrayim that doesn't want to. Whatever it is, there's a hechrich in pshuta shel mikra that Osnas is Potiphar's daughter, and why the Sheilos, why is it called Potiphar? Because he had pera that they cut off his Eved Hazeh. But who says, why does Rashi have to say Gabriel to do it? That's a big chiddush, Me'echi Teisi, that such a mess happened. So therefore Rashi says, Mistaras Me'elov, Me'echi Teisi, that Gabriel performed the nest. But the Pi Halacha, I would answer, that that's Taka the Shaila. The Shaila is, if Gabriel did it, or it happened on its own, is, a Malach shouldn't be worse than a Ben Noach. A Malach L'choira has to keep at least the Sheva mitzvahs. The 613 mitzvahs they're not going to get. The Yidden get it, not the Malach. But the 613 mitzvahs.
Malach has to keep it too.
No, but the 7 mitzvahs.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. Maybe that's the Shaila.
Understand, the person, Malach is allowed to kill somebody for Hashem.
Right.
So what?
It's
That's
not
one of the mitzvahs. The mitzvah is not to kill.
Right.
Hashem tells you to kill.
We're also allowed to kill in war. We're also allowed to kill if someone's coming to kill you or in war.
One second.
Right.
Whenever the Malachim do anything, they're robots. They don't have the chiyuv. They don't have the Yitzhak. They're just robots.
Okay, but the Lashon Bo Gabriel.
And how can Rashi argue with a Mishnah? It's a Gemara.
It's a Gemara.
Rashi's an Achron. Can you say maybe Rashi's saying that we didn't want to do Gabriel didn't want to do a Maush be a dime if he has a dime. So he made a kvada and it happened on its own. All you need from a malach is a glance.
Rashi says the status
You
me'elam.
saw they looked at stone and they stole the stone. They didn't say drag it with fire.
You could say the status.
But how can Rashi argue with the Mishnah?
It's a Gemara.
A Gemara, how can you argue with the
No,
Gemara?
because the Rebbe's klal is that Rashi is not beholden to the Gemara. Rashi is saying al derech pshat, and therefore Rashi all the time says different than the Gemara, than the Midrashim. It's slightly different, but he says it different because he only what's muchrech al pshut shemikra.
But you can't align the two by saying Rashi's saying not that it just like when it says Malachim they looked at stone and stone burnt up.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you
it say that?
you could say.
It doesn't say they burnt stone. It says they looked at stone.
But there's a few ways of
Maybe
learning
we have
Rashi.
the first laser surgery.
Yeah, the first laser surgery.
So we know that Malach can be a Mohel too.
Yeah.
Makes sense, no?
Second Shaila. Someone has a Shaila, and this is a very common Shaila. Okay, just to summarize, that l'chayda sidus is mutter for a goy, especially if it's chemical treatment, chemical therapy. What a fancy name! But for a child who's 6 years old, l'chayda it's also gomer. The parents have no right to do such a thing. Okay, next Shaila. A person asked. He's going to his mother's house, his mother-in-law's house, his friend's house. He's going to a house today for a Hanukkah party at 3 o'clock. What's the din? Does he light the candles there because he's eating there? Is he allowed to eat in the party past 4 o'clock? What's the din? What's called the din going to a party, a Hanukkah party, before you light Hanukkah candles? Could you go to a Hanukkah party before you light Hanukkah candles? And if you go, should you light the menorah there? Should you light the menorah there and in your house? Should you eat there? Should you not eat there? Should you wash? Should you not wash? Tshuva. It says in the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Tov Reish Ayin Zayin, Achsanoi, a person who's staying as a guest. They're not lighting in his own house. He should give the owner of the balabais where he's staying. He should give him a pruta to have a chelik in the mitzvah of the shemen of Ner Chanukah. If he has his own door, if he has his own room, he's in a motel and he has his own room where he's sleeping. He has to do his own menorah where he's sleeping because that's the main views. That anyway madlik bifnim, so there's the presuminissa is only for the people in the house. So therefore the ikka kviyas is the place where you eat. So if you're eating with the balabayas and so you mishtat a pruta with him, even though you have a hotel outside and you have a separate door, it doesn't matter. So the Mishnah Berurah, the next paragraph. You went to his house to have dinner, to have a Hanukkah party. You have in that city, you have his house. You have to go back home to light Ner Chanukah in your house.
Even after the party.
And now we'll get to before the party in a second. Halacha, he writes that if he's going to his friend's house, he's staying there for all the 8 days of Hanukkah. Your friend's house becomes your house. But these days, that the presuminissa is only for the people inside. Weiter, Pasuk Ramah in Siman Tov Reish Ayin Beis, Sim Beis. Yesh Emrim Zman Hazeh Shamadlik Bifnim Ein Tzarich Lizor Lahad Lekoidem Shetich Leregel Min Hashuk. That Zman Hazeh. Anyway, we're lighting the candle in the house. So if you can light the candle after there's no more people in the street. The Gemara says that the light is going to have to be lit until there's no more people on the outside. But Bisman is that the presuming this is for the people inside. So you could light the candle late. To light it Bisman. So the Mishnah Berurah writes a very important halacha in Sifkat Yud that a half hour before the Zman of the mitzvah, it's also to eat and it's also to learn. So that means for Minik Chabad that Nishtok Achama means there's two machloikis and has to do also with what you consider Shkia and the Rabbi Tam and the Gaonim. But the bottom line is for those that are here, mostly are doing Minik Chabad. That Minik Chabad is that we light by Shkia. That means right now it's 4:29. So a half hour before that is 4 o'clock. So 4 to 4:30. It's also to learn.
Unless you're ready.
Also to eat.
Unless you're ready.
Huh?
If you're ready, then you can learn.
No.
What if you have?
The Mishnah Berurah says in the Ha'ora in the Shad Tziyun that learning maybe because there's anyway shittas that you should do it after. That you should do it at the end of the Shkia, which is the
Shkia Rishona, at the end of the Shkia Rishona.
And the Shkia Rishona, but I'm not sure that we hold there's no such thing as Shkia Rishona, Sheyach Harayna. We hold the Shkia, and then there's 25 minutes later is says Akachavim, and it's all over, like the Gionim. So I'm not sure that this is all because the Mishnah Berurah holds that really the Rabbeinu Tam there's some validity to that shita.
So is it not being allowed to learn? It's because you might get distracted.
No, because Chazal made Exeda. Same thing like Ner Chanukah.
What are you supposed to do? Sit there and do nothing?
Huh?
What if you're ready? You have your menorah, you're ready. You can't learn.
The same thing will be for every mitzvah. Every
Depends
mitzvah.
what you're learning.
Like,
So if you're learning Halachas Psukim like Miketz or Shulchan Aruch on Hilchos Hanukkah, that's one thing. But to learn
Something deep that you're going to
Gemara, alumnus saying you got tshuva, maybe that's different.
You know
than
what? Let's stay away from the learning because the shaila now is about eating.
From 25 to 4, 20 to 4, you can't eat things?
So from 4 to 4:30, yeah. But what's the shot not?
Suda.
Oh, so that's what I want to say. Look in the next paragraph. Which talks about about B'dikas Chametz, but really all mitzvahs are lulav. There's always, whenever there's the zman of a certain mitzvah, the Chazal said a half hour before mincha, a half hour before. There's a thing that you're not allowed to start a suda, or you're not allowed to start certain things, like taking a haircut. The Alter Rebbe writes, "So it says man shebei knis tzad on the base of his man bedika." Dainu tzesek chavim v'shira says man shebei kumei chatzi shah also lo lechel v'lelomet. In a half hour before tzesek chavim, which is the zman, bedika's chametz starts with tzesek chavim. A half hour before tzesek chavim, you're not allowed to learn or eat. Now, in the Sugar Gelyan he writes, "Avoltima ba'alma shari." The taste you're allowed to come and
So maybe a taste of Torah also, like something
so
that's light.
let's leave Torah on the side for a second. Okay. And the food, he says in Siman Lamed Beis that you're allowed to have a te'ima. That means even bread up to a kibetza, you're allowed to have. That's what he says l'gabe mincha. So l'chayda this is binyanah for all the things, all the mitzvahs, lulav, Hanukkah. Okay, so now
The Rabbanan or the Araisa?
the Rabbanan and the Araisa. Now the Araisa,
Shayfa, you're not allowed to eat.
right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or
And-
Te'im of Alma, you
And
do
so
Te'im.
from a half hour from this man shofar that starts
That's
is
in the morning. This is
in the morning, from a half hour
We don't even do
before-
a Te'ima.
Yeah,
a lot
but
of
if
people
you
do.
wake up before Lois HaShachar,
Oh.
so it depends. If you're in within the half hour before Lois HaShachar, it's already also. But if you wake up a full half hour before Lois HaShachar, then you can eat. No one usually does such a
When you
thing.
give the
I'd rather go to
balabais
sleep
money
if I get
by
it
the
better.
suda, you make a bracha at home also?
Yeah, for sure. But
So,
no. Let me summarize, because then you can't give money to the Malabai. Let me summarize. According to the Mishnah Berurah, you're only achsanoi if you live in their house for 8 days. If you're in a person's house for a party and you're going back home, you're not an achsanoi. You're a chayiv gomur to go home and to light the candle. So therefore, with a bracha. Therefore, lichatchila, you should try to go home in the zman. So if you're minik Chabad, you should try to be home by 4:29. It's very difficult for people that are holding a job, but if you have no choice, so beside that, whenever you close the shop, whenever you finish the business, you get into the car and you drive home and you don't stop to do anything but go home and light. Good. Yeah. Now, if you could come home early from work, so you should come and do it in time. Elamai diovad, you're in a business and you can't come home, and you can rely on the fact that Bisman Hazeh, even first of all, New York, Tichla Regel Min HaShul doesn't hardly ever happens. And second of all, we paskin, even if you say Brooklyn is different to this, but we paskin the Ramah. The Ramah says l'chatchila you should do it Bisman. And l'bediyavad, you could do it all night as long as the bnei bayis are around. And this pesuminis are great, but l'chatchila, you should try to do it in time. So now, if you're in a masiba in someone else's house and the start of the masiba, so l'chatchila, the only way to start it is if you came there before the zman. If you came there before the zman, and if you washed for a seuda before 4 o'clock, again, this is for Chabad. If you're doing the later shkia, so you delay everything by about a half hour. So if you washed before the half hour before the Zman, so then it's like anything. If you wash before Beheter, Hischel Beheter, you're allowed to continue, just like by Mincha, as long as you're not going to be over the Zman, which again, today it's a whole night is the Zman. But once there's ready, if you didn't wash, once it's a half hour before the Zman, you're allowed to have a tima, you're allowed to drink coffee, you can take a little piece of fruit, but you're not allowed to wash, to eat a Suda, unless you're eating mamash, you're planning to eat less than a kibetz.
But you don't have to. You cannot have seuda also after you light the candle. Half an hour you have to look. In the
No,
candle.
well, you could sit and eat your Suda by the candle. Gesundheit, hey.
You're allowed to?
Yeah, for sure.
Just don't grill your sandwich on the candles.
Why can't you eat?
Oh, next
No, I said after you light the candle, you have to sit down, go up nearby.
You're supposed to learn Torah by the candles.
Why?
But you're still allowed to eat, but you're not supposed to learn Torah. If you can't learn Torah, you're hungry, eat something.
Here, I wipe his mouth.
Not bad, it's good. The thing is to look into the
But I'm
candles.
going to Muncie.
Keep the shamash on.
We can have a party with the kids and grandchildren. They're going to light, they're going to eat.
And you should wash before 4 o'clock.
What if I don't wash?
So don't wash, say it, but you have to know that you can't wash after. But you're doing it the later shkia anyway. So for you, it's 4:30 about. Do you light your son
Go to the
light by
Moshe. Go to the
shkia?
Moshe.
You light. What time do you light? You light by
I
shkia?
liked
Like first shkia?
20 minutes after.
After.
I don't remember
So
exactly.
you
yeah.
learn.
Go to the Moshe shit.
So by you it starts 4:20, 4:25.
Yeah, but the question is,
if they're
But
gonna eat.
their Neiras Hanukkah is not moitzi you at all. That's not moitzi you.
But am I
if you're
allowed to eat?
You're allowed to eat a Te'ima B'alma. Yeah, Te'ima B'alma, you're allowed to eat.
later at home at 9 o'clock.
Something like.
Yeah, and you're going to come home, you're light.
Yeah,
You
of
can't
course.
eat
With a bracha, but before that you can't, from 4:20, you're not allowed to eat anything more than a Te'ima. That means you're allowed to drink a coffee, drink water, you can eat a lot.
So if we're gonna eat dinner together, we can't
or
eat.
unless you wash before 4:20, and then you can eat with them.
So
Right,
that's
having
the
you
one.
Wash.
washing your house.
Wash.
You think they're gonna
Starting
No,
the meal.
not
What
in
time is
there.
this starting the party?
I don't know. We'll leave here 1:30.
There's no starting time by
Wash
Joe.
before
When they do it, they
4:20.
do it.
Wash before 4:20.
So there's no starting. There's no schedule by you. You're
And this is coming from you. What the fuck?
They say it takes one to know one, don't it? Takes one to know one.
Okay, one more shayla.
So you said the eight is to wash.
Wash before.
Wash.
One more
And
shayla.
otherwise, if people wouldn't wash, they can't
They
eat.
can't eat.
Okay, he'll give you the Taisus and the Rishonim after though.
Okay, one more shayla. Are you allowed to roast marshmallows on the menorah? Now, versteht sich, ein Schuss Stammes
They
behem,
won't come on board.
Elo Leroysim Bilvad.
This is in which Shiloh? Where's the Shiloh?
need a
I'm asking a shayla.
You need a campfire. The candles
Oh,
don't
okay, I'm asking a theoretical shayla. The first,
Noah.
What are you
when
talking about?
it's-
That's the best campfire.
when it's ein Lon Rishus Lishtamesh Behem, Elo Leroysim Bilvad. We know that. And that's what's brought as a lochitz and Maresha and Gimel and Rishus Lishtamesh Behem. Mishabur means two reasons. One is, it should be nikah, that it's a ner mitzvah, and the other one it's ke'ein neris of the Beis HaMikdash. Shaila is after the mitzvah was done. After the mitzvah, today people put in enough oil that it'll last for 12 hours, for 24 hours. So what happens that after the Zman,
And you had in mind to be able to use it after this month?
or once if, so that's part of the Shaila. The emissaries, the Mishnah Berurah says that even after the Zman, a person shouldn't be mishtamish because it's marasayin, because no one knows, especially the Zman Hazeh, that, people are lighting at different times, so it's marasayin. But I would say there's another reason also to be moisiv. We said before that the Persum Nisa today is more to the Bnei Bayis, to yourself. So Bizman, Hashas, when you put it for the window. And the Persum Nisa was Be'ikr for the people in the street. So once it's Kal Yerig Le Talmudoi, once there was no more people in the street, the mitzvah is over. 100% the mitzvah is over.
Not even for the Bnei
But now that the Iker Persum Nisa is for the Bnei Bayis,
It continues on.
and we're going with this lahalocha because that's what the Ramah paskins, that even though there's no more people in the street, hayois bezman hazeh the iker persum nisas of bnei bayis. So what are you telling me that there's no more people in the street? But the persum nisas for the bnei bayis. So how could you use? So how could you use the candle after the zman? There's still persum nisas as long as it's lit.
So usually people go to sleep at 12 o'clock. They go to
So I'm
sleep.
saying, while
While they're up.
yeah, they're not roasting marshmallows when they're sleeping.
Right, but now we're after the Pesur Nisa is the question then is what you're saying is there Pesur Nisa calls man the Bnei Bayis are up? That's
Right. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
always we said regel shuk. That means that's the last time you have to have it. But that doesn't mean that you're to the mitzvah after.
Right.
But
I
if
hear
you
what
say
you're
like
saying.
this-
I hear what you're saying.
If you
I
say
hear what
like
you're saying.
this, you would have to have the candles lit
Exactly.
for longer.
That's what I'm
than
saying.
half an hour because now it's for inside.
Exactly.
You go
Okay.
to sleep.
That's
So,
exactly what I'm asking.
There's a knate here. The truth is like this. Depends. If a person befedish thought that he's doing the mitzvah for whatever Chazal said, which is the minimum zaman, say it's a half hour, 50 minutes, whatever it is, and he had in mind befedish afterwards that he's going to use it for roasting marshmallows, then it would be mutter, mitzad, the fact of Pirsum Nisa and the doing the mitzvah. But still, the Mishnah Berurah says that there is still there's a maris ayin, and people don't know when you did. They're saying you're using the candles, so therefore the Mishnah Berurah paskins
I
and
don't
it's
think it's a
also
good
to
example
use
for your kids to roast marshmallows.
on the menorah.
It's
Or
not
light a
that-
cigarette.
It's not that you shake
It's not such a.
But I move my minute after half hour.
Say that.
So now it's not.
Ain't no issue. Oh, you think now it's not a heck?
It's not even a heck.
But do you leave them lit? Do you leave them lit?
Yeah, I leave them
So
lit.
there should be no difference. He's saying if you leave
It's on
them,
Marasayan, I'm saying.
no, it's sad that you leave them lit. Shows that you still want to be mefarsa than the names.
Right, that I get.
So they could be Marsov. What's the chiluk that you move them?
Okay, so let me just finish off with this. The Chazal say that how long you have to wait for the menorah until there's no more people in the shuk. But the Lashon Chazal is on the tagle, kalya rigla the Talmud doi. Tonight we'll learn a more the kasich about this. There's a sikh of Toshin and Beis. There's a shen about. But digest of all Chassidus about Hanukkah. But at least we're finishing off before Hanukkah. Epes avort in Chassidus. So Chassidus says that the Neris Hanukkah has to shine so much. The Kedusha has to be so strong that Kalya Rigla the Tarmadoi. What's the Pshat Tarmadoi? If you turn around, the word Tarmadoi is Moiredis. That they're Moired B'Malchus Shemayim. And the Rebbe brings that there is a Psa Oroch that says that this group of people that were called Tarmadoi were really Avdei Shloima. And they rebelled against Shloima, B'Soif Yomov, or after he passed away. So B'Meila, their Shloima is Melech Shashalom Shaloi. And they were Moired B'Malchus Shemayim. So Yid has to light so much Kedusha, the Mokem HaChoshech of Golus, that he should make Kalya, Kaloisa Nefesh, that even the Tarmudoi, which are Moired the Malchus Shemayim, and they're doing things like the Shaila number 1. So these people that Rigla the Tarmudoi, even their Regel, should be in this Hapach, the Kedusha so much that they have Kaloisa Nefesh.
Wow. Or maybe it grows back.
But Rabbi, the question is,
Great with Hanukkah.